Welcome to this look at a new mod map on Farming Simulator 22 with me, MrSealyp. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here on a new mod map by Biga Papa. This is Lost World, 29.84 megabytes download. I think of recent maps, I'm trying to think of map tours I've been doing over the last few months. This is probably the lowest megabyte download, lowest slot count required. This is a start from scratch map. This is a zombie apocalypse. Go out into the wilderness to keep away from the hordes. You'll see why in a moment. The map looks like this. It's a small map and you are confined to this boundary. If you go into build mode, it will allow you to go out past this boundary, but in a vehicle you can't go past this boundary. Field prices are pretty reasonable. Or I say field prices, plot prices. We start with, on New Farmer, plot 1, which has got a log cabin and a shed. That's it. So yeah, 77 grand, 99, 150. Not break the bank stuff. 159. Now, forestry is going to be your main, because this is what you start with. This is your start equipment, and that's on your New Farmer. So you start with the Bureau, and you do start with the Velga trailer. Sorry, the slot count is 491. Again, very low. On farm management start from scratch, you still have the 2 buildings, you don't have the vehicles, and the slot count comes down to 472. There are 2 sets of sell points, and the forestry is like this, very much like Spectacle Island, those kind of maps, where you haven't got a thick load of forestry, but you've got trees sort of dotted around. You do have on this side of the map, on the eastern side of the map, we have got some pasture areas, so some more open land that you could get cracking on straight away once you've bought it, once you own it, that don't have trees on. We've got a small field here. Both the fields that are on here are withered already, so you'd have to, again, however you decide to start from scratch, storylines, however you decide you're going to start a farm. Obviously, that's entirely up to you. There's a slightly larger field off in that direction, which we'll head over in a moment and have a look. And as you can see, these large open areas here, these are your open pastures. All the rest of it, the woodland, is very much like this. But again, if you don't like cutting down trees, you don't like doing forestry, that's fine. There are various different mulches. There's the Devour. There's all sorts of mods in the mod hub that allow you to remove trees pretty quickly if that's something you want to do. But I think the point about start from scratch, I mean, you could even, and we've talked about agroforestry, or I have talked about agroforestry before, where you can actually plough your fields around the trees. So, and that's done in areas where the ground is loose, it's drier, there's a lot of soil erosion. So the trees are left in place because the tree root system helps keep all the ground sort of intact around. And you kind of keep those wind breaks with the trees to stop everything sort of blowing away, and you actually grow crops through them. The same with animal husbandry and stuff like that. The animals just live sort of free, and you just put a fencing around them and away you go. Anyway, all that being said, required mods, there are 2. They download automatically. We've got the log cabin / farmhouse by GTX, which is that there, and we've got the forestry sell point by GamerDesigns. Like I say, those download automatically. There are no custom crops, there are no contracts available because it is start from scratch. Whilst there are 2 fields, they're both withered, and I haven't had it come up with a contract. I've gone onto all 3 game modes to check what the slot count was. So as far as I can tell, you're not going to get contracts on those fields. But derelict barn, just here. We can, I think. Yeah, we can remove it if you want to, so you might want to run through a process. There's various different, I'm just thinking, my mind's going about a start from scratch, and there are a few different modded pole barns out there. There was one where you've got kind of like a build process, so the pole barn is in stages, and you start off and you place what is essentially just the poles, and then you can replace that with a slightly more finished version, so you could go through a process of rebuilding a barn, or just place a barn. It's entirely up to you. Coming across to the log cabin then. As far as I can tell, we've only got 1 room. But anyway, open the door and we come in. There's a crackling stove. Just inside, it comes up with a sleep trigger. There's no icon disc for it, but our sleep trigger is just here. I don't think we have a wardrobe trigger. I was trying to go through this door, but I don't think this opens. So as far as I can tell, it's just a sleep trigger. I couldn't find a light switch either. There is lighting. I'm assuming that comes on at night. I will go around the back just in case there is a wardrobe trigger. But you can access the wardrobe. If you're new to the game, you can access the wardrobe trigger through the menus. You don't have to have a wardrobe trigger there. So let's grab the tractor. Now when I was talking about zombies and zombie apocalypse, that wasn't just some random, you know, MrSealyp's lost his mind, why is he talking about zombies? I'm assuming that Biga Papa is a Walking Dead fan because the sell points, the 2 sell points on the map are separate farmhouses, and the names, you've got Rick Grimes and Daryl Dixon, who are both from Walking Dead, so I'm assuming he's a fan. There's no collectibles, it doesn't show any in the menu that there are any. We've got little trackways. Oh, I was going to go and show you the larger field, wasn't I? There's trackways that run around, but obviously there's no fencing, there's no hedges, there's no sort of collision, so you can drive right away across everything if you want to. I completely lost it. No, it's over it. Head in that direction, and then we'll head to the sell points. So yeah, that kind of, you know, like any start from scratch map, you know, you can come up with any scenario you want, and it might be you don't even bother with scenarios. I mean, I always go down that route of there's a storyline in my head, you know, or I'll do a storyline out loud, because obviously that's what I do. There you go, it's a much larger field here, but it is withered. But you might just come on and play. You might not ever have a storyline in your head. You might just go, you know what, I like the map, I'm going to come on, I'm going to play it, I'm going to build it up, and off I go. So you might not ever think about that kind of thing. But I'm just sort of thinking of that. You know, you've left everything behind. You've gone out into the countryside to stay safe, to stay alive, and you've got to live. You've got to grow stuff. You've got to plant things. You've got to farm the land. You've got to build buildings. You know, whatever however you go about it. You know, you can even simulate that thing of you can't build a barn or a building unless you cut down enough trees to build them. There's all those things you can do, and I like that. So, it's not the fastest tractor on the planet, but we haven't got many sell points and stuff to get to, so that's cool. Lighting seems very nice. Texture, colour palette. Under build mode, I mean, I can show you that. There's not a huge amount. I said there's the 2 required mods. If we go into build mode under sheds, anyways, I said in the last map tour I wasn't going to be showing these as often, especially if there's a lot of stuff. But under sheds, there's one there. If we go to farmhouses, I mean that's the required mod. So it's really only the shed, because the other 2 that are in here are the required mods that download. So there's a shed that's been put in by Biga Papa, and that's it. All the rest of it is pretty much standard across the board in build mode as well. If you run premium expansion, platinum expansion, precision farming, whatever you do, you have all the extra stuff there, and then of course there's everything in the mod hub. So Rick Grimes establishment, just here. So sell point there, and forestry sell point right behind it, and the same over at Daryl Dixon's, but we'll go over there. It's that weird thing. I got up on the roof here and I thought of Daryl Dixon immediately, because Daryl Dixon in Walking Dead has a crossbow all the way through. And you can get up on this with the various different ladders up onto the roof. And I thought, for someone with a crossbow, great sight lines when the zombies are coming. You know, you can pull up the ladders and you're up on the roof and that kind of thing. But this is actually Rick Grimes' house. The 6-shooter sheriff. Anyway, enough of that. I'll be a bit more concerned if it was Michonne's house. But enough of all of that. I haven't watched that. I think I can't remember what series I got to. 9? I think I got to series 9. And I was playing catch up. I was late to the party with all of that. And then when it got to sort of weekly, I don't know. I kind of lost interest after that. Yeah. Anyway, again, that's not relevant to the map tour, but so as we come onto this bit here, we've got our vehicle shop there, our workshop trigger for the vehicle shop just there. We have got an animal dealer just there, and we've got a gas station just there. This is the reset point on the map as well. Actually, I was going to look for, double check, we're on this plot here. Alright, so you can't buy this plot of land. I did wonder, because you've got this open expanse, but I suppose this is the point where everything respawns, so you can't often into the vehicle shop area place anything. But there's plenty of the rest of the map to not have to worry about. And we follow this track, and we can cut across the wiggly bits, but heading in a southeasterly direction, we should end up at Daryl's. And as you can see, like I say, it's not overly populated with trees. I don't know how. I'm just like playing devil's advocate here. I don't know how I feel about it. I like the fact that there's areas that are open, and you've got big areas between. Like I said, it's not like it's really densely packed. I personally think I haven't been across the entire map, but I probably would have liked to have seen one area at least on the map where it was a more densely packed forest. But I get why it's been done the way it's done. So you can open up the map completely and very quickly and very easily. I say very quickly, like I say, we've got a pasture area over here with grass growing in it that's got very little trees on it. Although that's not even showing on the map as a separate... Yeah, look at that. Nice big open area here. And then just through the trees there, you can see Daryl Dixon's sell point, and behind his house we've got a Forestry sell point as well. And that's the map. That's it. Like I say, let your mind run wild, your imagination go bonkers, or just come on and play. Just do whatever you want. Now, it's not going to be for everyone, I know that. I've said this many times before. Some people prefer that structure. They prefer the structure of having a map with stuff set out so you can get on, play. There's fields already, there's stuff to harvest. You can run through your seasonal cycle if you want to, or not, and you literally just come on and play. There's enough start equipment, you can just get on with it. Some people often find this open area sort of thing of start from scratch a little bit daunting. Other people thrive on it. So, like I say, it may not be your cup of tea, but this is what it is. So there we go. And that's by Biga Papa. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.